Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian J's Nerd Talk, and this is my review. It's a short review of The Witcher Blood Origin, and this is my review of the first episode, and this show is terrible. It is absolutely awful. The dialogue is terrible. Some of the acting sucks, except for Michelle Yeoh, but it's just Michelle Yeoh being Michelle Yeoh. The dialogue is repetitive, and it's really terrible. Like, the characters are constantly saying the F word, like, every 2 minutes. It's really bad. The first line of dialogue in the show is Jaskier saying fuck, fuck, fuckity, fuck, fuck. That's the first line in the show. That kind of let you know how terrible the dialogue was going to be. It's so juvenile. These writers are so terrible, so immature, so childish. It's just so bad. It's just really, really terrible. And yeah, none of this has anything to do with the books, with the whole monoliths and stuff like that. This whole origin story is just made up for the show. That's made up. That has nothing to do with the books. And you know what? You know who I blame for the shows being a terrible adaptation of the books, not being faithful to the books? I blame the book writer, who I like, but the writing is great. I love the books. I've read the first three books, but he doesn't care about the books. He doesn't care the adaptations are not faithful. As far as he's concerned, his books are not Tolkien. So he's like, just do whatever the fuck you want. He didn't like the Witcher games because he doesn't like video games. That's his problem. That's his prejudice. He's from a different era. He's from the era where video games are just seen as lesser than. Now video games are rivaling movies, and well, let's face it, the Game Awards is the most watched awards show in the world, But yeah, man, I blame him. He does not care about his books. He does not care about an adaptation being faithful. It's weird because he wrote the books. He's not a fan of his own books. He wrote the story for his son, who sadly, tragically died, I think in a car accident 3 years ago, and that's really sad. I feel bad for him. But yeah, it's like he only wrote the books for one person. That was his son. And he just doesn't care. He just doesn't, he's not a big fan of his own work. I get the feeling that he doesn't love the world and the stories that he created because he didn't really write it for himself. He wrote it for his son. And he wrote 8 books and he's basically done. This Blood Origin show, it's really terrible. The only thing I liked about it, and this is a spoil, I don't want to spoil everything, but there's a certain plot thing that happens where a certain princess is scheming to become the empress or whatever of a certain kingdom, and that aspect I liked. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. I was fine with that. Everything else was horrible, from the pacing, the dialogue, the writing, the acting, everything. This is just awful. This is probably the worst fantasy show of 2022. Maybe the worst show. Thank goodness it's a limited series and only got 3 more episodes to go. But this is awful. The Witcher Blood Origin, the first episode, episode 1, is a terrible, terrible episode. If I had to rate episodes, I give this a 2 out of 10. Just awful. So that's my review of the first episode of The Witcher Blood Origin, the prequel series to The Witcher. If this is the future of The Witcher, then I think Nerdrotic is correct. The Witcher is doomed. So these are my thoughts. And this is Brian J's Nerd Talk. I'll talk to y'all later.